Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Oh my god. That was such fun. Hello friends, and welcome back to Plain Jane Plants. I am the host, Plain Sarah Jane, of course. So I haven't been around because of exams, but passed them all, so we're ready to rock for this holiday season. So, a couple things have changed around here. Number one, my hair. Feeling those Khaleesi vibes. Actually, I couldn't get through Game of Thrones. It's kind of boring. Don't hate me. Anyways, but more importantly, what has changed around here is this giant Schefflera Amate that I got from Rona. Like $17. Can you believe it? Have it up on the shelf because I need the table that the Christmas tree is on. So for now, it's just chilling all the way up here, but I kind of like it. Kind of wish I had a really, really big one. Probably just gonna have to grow this one out like a lot. So today I'm going to be doing some repotting. I have a little monstera that I need to repot because every time I water it, a whole bunch of soil comes out. Could just top dress it, but it needs to be in a different pot. The nursery pot's ugly. Anyways, and I also have a Sansevieria cylindrica to repot. And I'm also going to be sharing some really juicy, terrible plant trade stories that I have. So you're going to want to stick around for that. All right, guys, here we go. I have my own personal mix. I have the plants we are repotting, and I have the pots we are repotting into. So when it comes to terrible plant trades, there's a few subcategories of just terrible plant trades. So I'll tell you a few of them and my experience with them. So there's the cheapies, okay? The cheapies are the people that want to, you know, trade, like let's say you have like a rooted plant up for trade. They want that whole plant and they just want to give you a cutting of something. Not of something that's of more value, which makes more sense, but of something just like common. Like let's say this one. Let's say I put up this little Monstera Deliciosa, just a regular one, and I say, hey guys, not super into this plant, want to trade it for a golden pothos, okay? I would assume that, let's say I would offer someone a rooted golden pothos, considering you're getting this whole plant, okay? What do they want to do? They want to give you a cutting of a golden pothos for it. Excuse me? To me, that's not a fair trade. That's not right. That's annoying to me, okay? And then we have the greedies, okay? And the greedies are people that, like, let's say you're in like a local plant group or something, and you know, you put up a plant for trade. You put up a plant for trade. It's not like the most exquisite thing you have or whatever. Oh yeah, look at that. I think that's what they call root porn. Yeah. I mean, I could have let it get a little more root down, but meh. I don't want to. I want it to stay in this pot for a little bit. I want it to get really acclimated into this pot. That way, by the time the growing season comes around, you know, it's ready to just really, really rock. Okay, so like, let's say I just put up like a regular plant. I want to trade that. This person messages you, sends you a personal message, which is cool, because not everyone needs to know the whole business of your trade with this person. They send you a message and they say like, oh yeah, I can trade you this for this. You're like, okay, great. Transaction done. You're thinking, all right, we'll pick a time and a place to meet, and we'll meet and the trade will go down, or porch drop off, no contact, whatever your shtick is. Your shtick. Whatever it is, you do you. So, and then you get a message like, oh, I see in a picture that you posted on the group before, like a plant appreciation post, or like a, hey, I just got this, whatever. Like, we all share different kinds of plant posts, not just strictly trades and selling, right? Oh, I saw that you posted this. Any chance that you want to trade me some of that? I don't know, kind of rubs me the wrong way. It's not like if there's someone in the group and you know you always trade with them, you really don't mind spreading the love, right? But when this is someone that you haven't really traded a lot with, and they just come up and say, hey, by the way, I've been looking at all your posts, you have a lot of beautiful plants. can I trade you this? Like, no. And then when you say no, they're like pissed off about it, right? I hate that. Then there's the fraudsters, okay? The fraudsters are the people that, let's say this. I traded a great big rooted section of a Marble Queen Pothos. Not super rare or anything, but this plant was at least 20 years old. The stems are very woody, and I traded a very big rooted piece for it. It was probably something a little bit less than this size. Just a little bit less. Maybe it was like an 8-inch or something. It's huge, and I had a great big long vine on it, and she was like, oh, I'll trade you this Ficus Chiniki. The one that's, not the ruby that's really, really pink, but not the super dark one. The one that's like variegated and comes in kind of like blush and then fades to like a creamish white kind of variegation. Throw a picture up. Yeah, that one. And I was like, okay, great. And it was so cute. And I think it was in a 6-inch pot, but it was so tiny. So I got it, and the soil was like super, super wet. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this and I'm going to, because they don't like to be drowned to death, you know. I'm going to take this and I'm going to plant it like in a 3-inch. With some drier soil, and put it in the right spot, and you know, get it to flourish. Well, I get everything ready. When I go to repot it, don't I pull it out? The stick is just rotted at the very end. Okay. Oh, that ticked me off so bad. Or, oh, you know what I hate? Like, let's say you're trading for something and they go, oh yeah, take a look at this, and you go, oh, is that like a bunch of cuttings? They're like, well, I propagated them all, they're all rooted, and now they're planted in as a plant. Okay, great. I'm thinking that's perfect. I get it, and then I go, like, we trade, la 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 la, great, perfect, thanks. I take the plant, I get inside, because like, honestly, it's really cold out here. It's like below 0, so I'm not gonna be like exposing the roots and the, like, if there's wetness and everything in the freezing cold. So I was like, hey, whatever, yeah, sounds great. We'll trade. Well, I get back up here and I go to take a look at the roots. A good chunk of it is a plant, and the rest of it is just a bunch of unrooted cuttings just stuck in the dirt. Why? Why would you do that to some healthy golden pothos that she promised me? And here's all the unrooted cuttings that she just stuck in the pot. I just think that's really, really freaking rude. I am not down for that. And I would never do that to somebody. And voila. Honestly, guys, unpopular opinion. F a moss pole. I think they are so ugly. It just looks like a big hairy turd sticking up. Like, it's good for the plant, it climbs up. No. I think I'm gonna throw at the most, like when this gets a little bigger. Right now I just want it to just reach for the sun and live. My goal right now is to just have this be alive by the time the growing season comes. So, yeah. With that being said, I'm gonna wait till it gets a little bigger, and then I'll probably put like 3 or 4 bamboo posts in here, or like a bamboo trellis, and then just kind of take some of the larger ones and pin them up against it, I think. And then, you know, and then it has a little more stability and it can still, you know, get up and reach. But right now I'm kind of digging this floppy look, and I just want to let it be for now. I'm so nervous about this plant. I treat this plant like it's like an Albo Monstera or something. It's just a common deliciosa, but you guys know I cannot keep them alive. So, ugh. And one of the worst, the no-shows. The people who say they're gonna trade you and then they just ghost. See ya. And you're kind of like, do I still have this plant to trade? Like, can I still trade this plant? Or is someone coming for this plant? Like, I don't know. Which brings us to the next plant that I have to repot, this Sansevieria cylindrica. I got this Sansevieria cylindrica. I was really into snake plants in probably like June, and then I kind of got out of them. So then around July, I went to trade, and this girl was like, oh yeah, like I totally want to trade. And she had this like beautiful like dark purple coleus, and this was like summer at the time, so like I knew it was gonna get big and bushy and beautiful. And she was like, oh yeah, I would love to trade. And I was like, okay, great, so let's do it. Well, so she was like, yeah, we'll toast trade, it'll be totally great. Well, you think I've heard from her since then? No, I haven't, Diane. Sorry, a little bitter. Anyways, she doesn't live that far from me. I know that she travels. She just never shows up to come here and get it. And she's been like, yeah, we'll trade, it'll be great. And she's been before to be like, oh yeah, you know what, like I have some other plants that we can trade too. Girl, I don't believe you. So whenever she says stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, great, but then I just traded to somebody else. Anyways, long story short, fell back in love with this because after I traded it to her, it started to pop out all these little babies. Oh, sorry, there's like no soil left in this. Like, I just really didn't care about it. It's just been sitting there sprouting up. It's got all these little babies in here, so that's super exciting. So I kind of fell back in love with it. So sorry, Diane. If you ever wanted this plant, you ain't gonna get it. It's been way too long, you know. Okay, so I'm actually gonna be replanting it in this terracotta clay pot type of thing. It doesn't have a hole in the bottom, and I'm feeling confident about this because I never water this, but I never water this deeply enough that water would come out the bottom. It probably gets like 2 or 3 tablespoons every like 3 months. Like I never noticed it. So yeah, so I feel pretty confident putting it in here because I know that the water will evaporate away and I won't be drowning it. So that being said, throw a little substrate down there. That's the word for it. Try and get the roots out of here. Yep, there we go. There it is. She's exposed in all her glory. Cute, cute, cute. Oh, there's another baby coming up here too. What? Man. Okay, you know when they say these thrive on neglect? Like, I feel like that just is because time goes by and you forget about it, and then all of a sudden you look and you're like, dang, there's a baby. And that's really exciting. Oh, this one's having a baby too. They don't have a lot of roots, let's be honest. Is that gonna focus? Shh. Anyway, another little baby coming up there. I don't want to plant those so deep. I'm just gonna use some of the old soil because who freaking cares? It was fine in it before, but now it just needs to be a little more in the soil instead of just traveling to the top. That's still too low. Nope, that's not good. There we go. Swap it in there. Throw the rest of this mix on top. I don't put rocks in the bottom because when you put the rocks in the bottom, in your mind sometimes you think, oh, I can just water it more. Do you really want all that old water sitting at the bottom? I mean, this is clay, so it would evaporate. It's not like it's like ceramic or glass or something. Like it would seep into the terracotta and eventually dry out, but I don't see the point because then the roots just keep wanting to go down into the water and then they get to the bottom and they're all tangled in the rocks and then they're drowning in the water. So like you're not really helping yourself. Like you think you are, but you're not really. It's kind of like having like ordering a Diet Coke with like a supersized Big Mac meal. What's the effing point? The inevitable is gonna happen. You're still gonna eat too much. At first, you might think, oh, this is good, right? Because at first, the roots aren't down there, you know? But then when they are, that's when you're effed. So I'm just gonna compact a little bit of this because, like, honestly, I cannot stress how important it is to me that I keep these together. I guess I shouldn't have ever unbraided them, but they looked like they were suffocating, so. There we go. I guess these are called dracaenas now. I don't like that. What am I going to be throwing on top of it now? Just some white gravel. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Oh my god. That was such a bad idea. There it is. I originally watered this in its other pot probably, I don't know, a week ago, so this is just gonna chill on the shelf or in front of the grow light for the next couple months until I feel like emptying the bottom of a water bottle in it, I guess. And there we have it, you guys. I've repotted these little babies. They're ready to go back into my room in front of the grow light to really try and flourish and take off and hopefully enjoy their new homes. This guy definitely will, because he was just floating on top of some dirt. So I think he's going to be much happier potted up, and he looks a lot freaking cuter. I mean, I'm kind of happy that that Diane girl never came to get him, because I kind of like him. Naming him Spike. I don't really like to name my plants. It's kind of like, like why? But this guy's here to stay. So his name is Spike. Okay, anyways, now that I've formed an emotional bond with my plant, Kelsey Breeze, that is it for this. So now that my exams are over, we are gonna be seeing a lot more of each other, should you choose. And if you kind of like what I'm bringing to the table, then don't forget to, just knocked the dirt over. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Happy holidays.